Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Trey in the Bay. What a wonderful Sunday evening it is for the faithful, the Niner Empire. 49ers and Deebo Samuel agree on a 3-year contract extension. So Deebo Samuel will be with the 49ers for the next 4 years to come. And this is a wonderful, wonderful feeling. It just makes me want to sing money, 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 money. I act like I got paid, but Deebo Samuel is signed, sealed, delivered. Wonderful song. Wonderful song, man, by Stevie Wonder. Signed, sealed, and delivered. If you haven't heard it, look it up. That's the first thing I thought about. And man, Deebo Samuel, we know what he can do. He's going to elevate this offense. Deebo Samuel is going to strike fear in opponents. We know what Deebo Samuel, what he can do on the field. Very physical runner when he has the ball in his hands. And let's be real, this is great news for Trey Lance. Trey Lance has, the best offensive weapon now on the team for the next 4 years. So this is an incredible night. It's been a tumultuous offseason for Deebo Samuel and the 49ers and some of the faithful fans. Let's be real. But at this point, all that's forgotten at this point, at least for me. He's signed now. He pouted in the offseason. But that seems to be the tactic for players who have a chance to make generational wealth. If you had the opportunity to make generational wealth, what would you do? So this is a great time to be a 49er fan. I had to come on tonight. I was going to come on tonight anyway, just to talk about week 1 of training camp. But honestly, I could care less about that right now. I don't care what happened. Hey, the guys aren't in pads. Monday morning, tomorrow, the guys will be in pads. Deebo Samuel will be in pads. So, I'm excited. I'm geeked up, as you can see. But I would love to hear the faithful, the Niner Empire. I would love to hear what you guys think of the news, the Deebo Samuel news. I'll get into some other news as well. But we definitely have to talk about the 49ers and Deebo Samuel agreeing to a contract extension. The deal, 3 years, $71 million, $58 million guaranteed. If you guys are happy, if you guys are excited about Deebo Samuel signing with the 49ers, make sure you hit that like button on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when I, Jay in the Bay, go live or upload videos. I appreciate all the support. You can also follow me Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, IG, under Jay in the Bay. Let's say what's up to the people, because this show is nothing without the MVPs, without the Niner Empire in the chat. Let's say what's up to the people in them comments. So let's see. We got Damian Lee in the building. What's good? How you doing, D. Lee? How is your Sunday night going, man? He says, Damian says, to sign Deebo with our cap situation, is Jimmy gone? Honestly, I think Jimmy was going to be gone regardless. And I don't think, well, actually, I'll say this. This proves that we can sign Deebo Samuel, which we did, and it did not matter Jimmy G's cap number this year. Deebo Samuel is in the last year of his contract. He's scheduled to make about $4 million this year. And the 3-year contract extension, won't be applied. He won't get that full $58 million guaranteed until next year when the contract actually kicks in. So I don't know what he got as a signing bonus. I'm sure he got something as a signing bonus. We'll figure what that is, either later tonight or tomorrow when the details come out. But Jimmy G's salary cap had nothing really to do with Deebo Samuel and his contract number. And I'm glad that the two sides were able to come to an agreement because we know what Deebo Samuel does for this offense. And it's just incredible. It's incredible. He is Weapon X. He can do it all on the field. Now I wonder if this means, will the 40? It'd be interesting to see how often Deebo Samuel will run the ball. I know that seemed to be a topic this offseason. Deebo Samuel was not, interested in running the ball. He wants to extend the life of his career, which, hey, I respect. And that's also why he signed a 3-year deal instead of a 4-year deal. I believe Deebo Samuel is already 26 years old. So when he is a free agent, when his contract ends after the 3 years, he can try to strike gold another time and sign another contract extension, hopefully with the 49ers. If Deebo does what we know he can do, if he can have, I don't even know if he'll have another all-pro season like he did last year. I don't know if he'll have the opportunities to really run the ball. And I know that's something that he doesn't necessarily want to do, at least in between the tackles. I think Deebo Samuel doesn't mind running reverses, end arounds, things like that. But he's not a fullback. He doesn't want to run up the gut, which I totally understand. But man, it's just good to have Deebo in red and gold for at least 4 more years. And if he has the same level of production like he did last year, which we'll see what happens. We did sign other running backs. Trey Sermon is coming back. We drafted TDP. Jeff Wilson Jr. is coming back. He needs to have a bounce back year. Also, hey, undrafted free agent running back Jordan Mason. So we've got a plethora of running backs, and hopefully we won't need Deebo to run up the middle. But let's be real, that was done last year out of necessity. That was like an emergency situation. We had a ton of injuries at the running back position. But to answer your question, Deebo, or excuse me, to answer your question, Damian, I went off on a little tangent. But I think Jimmy's gone regardless. The New York Giants could be interested in Jimmy G. Have you seen the Giants depth chart? I mean, come on. I think there's no doubt the Giants should be interested in Jimmy G. I don't see why they wouldn't. He would definitely be an upgrade over who they have right now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what was Deebo Samuel's signing bonus. We won't know that information until that comes out, because that's the money he got when he put pen to paper. So thanks for coming in tonight, D. Lee. We got Kelps Chronicles in the building. What's good? Kelps Chronicles, another 49ers content creator, man. What's good with you? Thanks for coming in tonight. He says, bro, I literally just got done daydreaming about going live on this. I clicked the app and here you are. Yeah, man, I had to come on live. I was going to do a live show tonight, and I was going to talk about, week 1 training camp. But I could care less about that. Maybe we'll talk about that later in the show. But this is huge news. I mean, at one point in the offseason, Deebo Samuel supposedly requested to be traded. And I think this was advice given to him by his agent to use his leverage, whatever he thought he had, and to speed up the process of negotiating. Because hey, Deebo Samuel is coming. He came off of an all-pro season, but the 49ers did not have to re-sign him. He was in the last year of his rookie contract. The 49ers could have easily allowed Deebo to play out his rookie year, but we don't want to do that. As an organization, definitely didn't want to do that. You want to reward your players who you scouted since day one when he was at South Carolina. You drafted him in the 2nd round. So obviously, Deebo Samuel did his part. He's played very well for the 49ers. And, it's great to reward players like that. So I appreciate you tuning in tonight, Kelps Chronicles, man. Appreciate that. We got Rams House. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream, Rams House. He says, what's up, Jay? He is also a Rams content creator. He says, what's up, Jay? How's your day going, my man? Good to see you. Hey, man, it's good to be seen. I appreciate that, Rams House. I'm looking forward to when we collab, when the Niners and Rams play again in the regular season. But I appreciate you coming in tonight, Rams House. I'm doing great, man. Had a wonderful day today with the family. On a Sunday, we had a great time spending time together, and then I come home. I'm making a few videos, and then I get the notification that Deebo Samuel signed, and it's like Christmas in Christmas in July 31st, man. So it is a wonderful feeling to basically have, you could argue, a top 5 offensive player in the NFL, no doubt the best offensive player on the 49ers. And let's be real, defenders do not want to tackle Deebo. Let's just be real. Let's be blunt about it. Defenders do not want to tackle Deebo Samuel. He changes the game. He is our X factor, and he makes a lot of things go on this offense. And he's going to make Trey Lance's job a lot easier. We got Crazy Juice in the building. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream, Crazy Juice. He says, "Let's go, Deebo gets to bully our rivals." For more years. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you tuning in. I saw this super chat. I should have got to it much sooner, but hot diggity dog. What's good, Blue True? Appreciate that $10 super chat. Blue True says, yes, Jay, signed, sealed, and delivered. Stevie Wonder, icon. Blue True also says Stevie Wonder, greatness, transfer to President Obama, and now Deebo Samuel. Congrats. Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate that, Blue True. Appreciate that. Yeah, and there's no doubt. That's the first thing I thought. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Great Stevie Wonder song. One of the many, many great Stevie Wonder songs. So yeah, that's first thing I thought. Appreciate that, Blue True. Appreciate that. Crazy Juice says Deebo is going to be stealing all of our division rivals' bikes again. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt the Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks definitely are not happy today. I'm sure they wish that, the 49ers and Deebo Samuel would have parted ways, but that didn't come to fruition. So I'm super, super excited. Super excited. Can't wait to see Deebo Samuel in red and gold for years to come. There's not really a better feeling out there. We got Platform 246 in the house. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in, man. He says, what's happening? Hey, man, it's all good. This is the best news we've gotten all off season. Obviously, we've had some injuries at training camp, but this is some of the best news that we've gotten. And man, and the only thing you really question about Deebo Samuel is his health. Outside of that, his desire to play football, his drive, his heart, that's unquestioned. And man, it's just great to have him in the red and gold represent the Niners for years to come, because he is, like I said before, the X factor for this team. And he sets the tone on offense for this team. Like on defense, obviously, Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward, Nick Bosa, they kind of set the tone. Fred Warner is like the vocal leader on this defense, and on the offense is Deebo Samuel. So, I mean, this is it's almost like a priceless moment right now because he's just going to help this offense, and also Trey Lance. Trey Lance is going to need all the help he can get. Basically a rookie quarterback, and we're asking him to start NFL games. That is a tough job in itself. But when you have talent on both sides of the ball, and you got an excellent head coach, excellent coaching staff, man, the sky is the limit for this team this year, especially with number 19 in the huddle. No doubt about it. APW Sports, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in. He says, I'm glad they were able to work something out in APW Sports, Chicago Bears content creator, man. I'm looking forward to our collab. We do play the first game of the year in Chi-Town. So definitely looking forward to that, man. Definitely looking forward to that. APW says, I felt the Jimmy G contract would hold up a Deebo extension. Guess I was wrong. I would say this, because Deebo Samuel was not a free agent. So he was still in the last year of his rookie contract. I believe he was scheduled to make this year like $4.6 million, and he's still going to make that. We don't know what his signing bonus was. I don't believe the signing bonus counts against the salary cap. So that's how they're able to basically, hey, we'll sign you in your last year of your rookie deal, get you a signing bonus, and that would be added on to his last year of his rookie deal, which I believe is like 4.6 million or something like that. So his 3-year contract extension doesn't really kick in. He won't get that money until next year when that contract actually kicks in. So I think that kind of proves that, hey, the Jimmy G contract had really nothing to do with Deebo Samuel getting signed. And fortunately it didn't, because because Jimmy G is still on this roster. And but hey, there were 5 teams rumored to be interested. The New York Giants were one of those teams, and they have the highest odds to acquire Jimmy G based on Las Vegas odds. And Las Vegas, they usually know what they're talking about. Of course, they're not perfect, but they got a bunch of tall buildings in the middle of nowhere. on a strip in Las Vegas, and they're able to, keep people coming to the strip. They're able to continue to build more buildings because of gambling. So they know what they're talking about. Las Vegas knows what they're talking about. Is it a done deal yet? No, but honestly, I think a lot of Niners fans don't even care if it's a done deal. They just want Jimmy G to be gone, But I won't be surprised if the Giants trade for him. But if we're able to trade Jimmy G, it doesn't matter what team. I don't think we'll trade him to Seattle. That's in division, but we'll see. We'll see what happens though. Platform also says thought we were going to be a mess this year. Yeah, I think honestly, if I could be totally honest with you, Platform 246 Lawrence, I could be totally honest with you. We do have some question marks on our team. Make no mistake about it. I think, outside of the big silverback at left tackle Trent Williams, outside of him on the offensive line, you got Mike McGlinchey coming back from I believe it's a quad injury. And he has participated in some of training camp this week, but he is a question mark. Can he come back to full health and be the Mike McGlinchey that we know, the best of the best? Now, keep in mind, Mike McGlinchey is on the last year of his contract. So he wants to play most of the games he can, 16, 17 games if he can. He wants to put out his best film so that way he can get, broke off something proper next year. Obviously, he wants to get his shot at generational wealth just like Deebo Samuel did. And Mike McGlinchey, he's got a lot to prove, I think. Hopefully we can keep McGlinchey, but I think it just depends on the price. We'll see. The 49ers have made investments along the offensive line through the draft and also through free agency. Now you look at the interior of the offensive line. Aaron Banks didn't play last year. So if he does win that left guard spot, then he could be, he'll be a first-year starter. We don't know what we're going to do at center. Jake Brendel. Is it going to be Daniel Brunskill? Right guard, we don't know what we're going to do. I know Spencer Burford was taking a lot of the first team reps at training camp this week, but we'll see what happens when the pads come on. But so the interior of our offensive line, there is some question marks, especially if Daniel Brunskill doesn't play right guard, and that's what he played last year. He has played a few games at center. Daniel Brunskill has, but he hasn't done it for a full 17 games. So, I guess you could make a case. 4 out of 5 positions on the offensive line, there are some question marks, but those will be figured out through training camp. And I think it will take time for this offensive line to gel. I think we'll see that, when the season starts. I'm sure, they will struggle a little bit. But I think if Kyle Shanahan can protect Jimmy G, I think he can do the same with Trey Lance. And I think we've seen that before. And then of course, number 5, basically a first-year quarterback. There's going to be some ups and downs. We've seen it already in practice, but Trey Lance is practicing against one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I think we only got better this year on defense by bringing in cornerback Charvarius Ward. I'm sure everyone's been watching other YouTube content creators who are doing their thing. But yeah, Charvarius Ward is doing a damn good job at 49ers training camp. He is locking up the show, and he's doing a pretty good job against Jawan Jennings as well. So Charvarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, I think this defense only got better, and not to mention the bullies up front on the defensive line. So I think the sky's the limit for this team. But if people say, hey, I'm not sure about their offensive line and quarterback, I just say hopefully we can prove them wrong, once the season starts, because those are question marks. Hey, Platform, I hope you're doing the same as well, man. I know you're out there in Vegas, in Sin City, man. I heard about the flooding the past few days, man. So hopefully you're doing well, man. Stay safe out there. Shifty's 49ers talk. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in tonight, Shifty. For those that don't know, me and Shifty did a collab, and we had a grand old time. It is on my YouTube channel. And make sure you guys check that out when you get a chance. But thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight, Shifty. He says, Deebo, what a great day. It is, man. It's a great day, like Ice Cube said, man. Redder, he says, Deebo got the bag. Absolutely, man. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Deebo definitely got the bag. And I think the sky is the limit, man. We got SF Niner Sports Nation. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in tonight. And if you guys are happy that Deebo Samuel got a contract extension with the San Francisco 49ers, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to Jay and the Bay if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that bell notification. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Kelch Chronicle says, great day for the faithful. Absolutely. He says, keep grinding Jay. Lent content as always, man. Appreciate it. You are doing excellent on your channel as well, man. I'm looking forward to our next collaboration, hopefully sooner than later, Kelts. We got a hater in the house. We got a hater. We got David Renteria. For those that don't know, David Renteria is a Arizona Cardinals fan. Now, I think David should be worried about Kyler Murray's bedtime on school days, and he should also be worried about Kyler Murray studying. Man, you got to study, Kyler. You got to put that work in, man. I think that's what David Renteria and the Cardinals fans should be worried about right now. How embarrassing that is, man. I don't think it's embarrassing to put it in the contract, but why would the Cardinals let that information out? I mean, I just don't get that. I mean, you want to embarrass your franchise quarterback who you just paid $230 million to. I don't get it. But hey, if the Cardinals are in disarray, that sounds good to me. But it's crazy that they would disrespect a quarterback like that by putting out that information. But hey, that's the type of organization that the Arizona Cardinals are, man. That's what they're right. David also says, by the way, was wrong with Jimmy G. Please elaborate, David. What do you mean by that? Please elaborate. Platform, what's happening to all the faithful out there? Absolutely. Platform also says us Niners content creators been waiting for this. Absolutely, man. It's been, especially after DK Metcalf got his contract extension. I think it was pretty clear that Deebo Samuel was next, and their agent, I think his last name is, I want to say Dandy, I think. Man, he has been a very busy man this offseason because his clients are few of his clients are Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and Terry McLaurin. And I believe all four of those receivers have gotten contract extensions this offseason. So their agent has been very busy working, and he's done a pretty good job by getting all his clients, or I should say the four I just mentioned, getting contract extensions. So, congratulations to their agent, Mr. Dandy. And he's been putting in that work. And Deebo signed a 3-year contract extension with the 49ers. It'll kick in next year. Like I said before, we don't know what he got as a signing bonus, but that money will kick in next year, and it's $58 million guaranteed. So $58 million guaranteed out of $71 million. I'm not sure if I think that might be the most guaranteed money, I think, out of the 4 wide receivers that got extended this year. And I think that averages out 3 years, 71. I believe that's like 23 or $24 million over average over 3 years. But it'll be interesting to see what the particulars are in the contract. That's for sure. David says 49ers should keep Jimmy G when Trey Lance get hurt. He'd be a good backup. I don't think that's going to happen. No way. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, I will play devil's advocate. If John Lynch's job is to assemble the best 53-man roster, then you're right. Jimmy G should be a backup to Trey Lance, because there's no doubt Jimmy G's better than Nate Sudfeld. He's better than Brock Purdy. But at Jimmy's cap number, it just doesn't make sense to have a backup quarterback making $24 million. That's just not going to happen. If Jimmy said, hey, I will take a pay cut to stay with the 49ers, I think, honestly, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch would probably be interested in that. But I don't think Jimmy G is going to request a pay cut to stay here. Honestly, if I'm Jimmy G, if you're Jimmy G, if you put yourself into Jimmy G's shoes, would you really want to stay with the 49ers? I don't see that. I wouldn't want to stay with the 49ers if I was Jimmy G. Hey, they basically drafted your replacement, and basically told you you're not good enough to do the job. So if I was Jimmy G, I wouldn't want to be here either. And like he said in a previous press conference, Jimmy G said, "Hey, I wouldn't want to wish this situation on my worst enemy." And obviously, he's not talking about the money part because hey, Jimmy G is rich. He's well off. But as far as just a team trading up to draft your replacement, you are helping the quarterback behind you, basically prepping him to take your job. I think it's best for both parties to separate. I think that would be the best situation. And hopefully that happens sooner than later. The Giants are rumored to be interested. There's also, I think the Seahawks are interested, the Lions, the Dolphins, and I think it was one other team that was rumored to be interested in Jimmy. But all it takes is, I guess, at least two teams, and you got a bidding war. So Jimmy G passed his physical. Jimmy G was at training camp. Obviously, he's not participating in any team activities. He's just doing, I think he was just doing some like conditioning drills. He was just running up and down the field. I think that was on, let's see, today's Sunday. I think that was on Friday, I believe. It was either, maybe it was Friday or Saturday. There was a video. I think it was the 49ers cutback. Shout out to the 49ers cutback. I think they had that video first, either on IG or Twitter, probably Twitter. And they just showed Jimmy G running up and down the sidelines in training camp. So he's not going to do any, team activities. There's no way, they don't want, they don't want to put Jimmy in harm's way. But hey, I think it'd be best for both parties for separation, and hopefully a team makes an offer, a trade offer that the Niners can't refuse. Philly Sports Talk Podcast. What's good? How you doing tonight, man? How you doing on a Sunday night, representing that good old Spotlight Sports Network? Shout out to you. Shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. APW Sports says, definitely looking forward to the week 1 collab. Bear down. Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it. Always good to talk football with you, APW Sports. This man is a Chicago Bears fan. He knows his stuff, and man, I can't wait. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Kelps Chronicle says training camp going to be fired up tomorrow. Deebo, I agree, man. I agree. Are you going to training camp tomorrow? Is anyone in the chat going to training camp tomorrow? Let me know in them comments. I concur, Platform 246. I concur. It is our biggest concern. The 49ers have addressed the offensive line. We've drafted several players in the 2021 draft. We've drafted several players in the 22 draft. So there's the talent is there, and I think it's great because iron sharpens iron, and whoever the best man for the position, they're going to win. So I think that's the best case scenario. You're going to get maximum effort, maximum competition between the 1% athletes, and that's all you could really ask for. And you could say that really about a number of positions on the 49ers. There's going to be a lot of competition. I think Huff, he is the favorite to win that strong safety starting spot. Opposite of Jimmy Ward, he's been taking the first team reps in training camp, but it's not necessarily a done deal, I would say. I mean, you still got Tavarius Moore, you still got George Odom, but there's no doubt Huff is the favorite to win that starting strong safety spot. You look at the cornerback situation. I think Tavarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley, I think they're, number 1 and number 2 corner. And that's the way they've lined up in training camp. They've been on the first team defense. No surprise there. But you got Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett, he is at training camp, but he's not participating. He's still recovering from that torn ACL that he suffered, last year, week 1 against Detroit. But he's going to be on the PUP list. So I think that's good. I think we are in a much better situation. We don't have to rely on Jason Verrett to be our best corner. And we were still basically able to overcome that for majority of the season. And shout out to everyone else on the defense that stepped up their game. And also shout out to D'Amico Ryans. But this year, we don't have to rely on Jason Verrett to be our best corner. He can sit out the first, 8 weeks of the season, come back ready, healthy, ready to go. And he could be our slot corner. So that'd be our third corner. Or maybe he could be, our 4th best corner. So who knows? We'll see what happens. I don't know if Jason Verrett can really play the slot corner at his age, coming off of a torn ACL. I don't know if that would be in his best interest, but if he's healthy and he's the third overall best corner on the roster, then why not let him play that nickel slot corner? Or he could be a fourth outside corner, because let's be real, a lot of teams, use at least 3 wide receiver set packages. They use 4 wide receiver set packages as well. So, Jason Verrett could be another outside corner, or maybe he could be inside corner. So that nickel corner spot is up for grabs. Obviously, Darqueze Dennard, who we signed last year as a free agent, I believe in December. He was re-signed this year because the 49ers believe that he could be that nickel corner. And I believe he's been the nickel corner on the first team defense in training camp so far. So, but you also, there's Sammy Womack. There's Demo Lenore, there's Ambry Thomas. So there's just a wealth of talent and young talent as well on this 49ers defense. And it's just something we haven't had. Like, this is the most talented secondary that we've had under Kyle Shanahan, I believe. When you mix in the young talent with the older veterans, this is the best secondary I think Kyle Shanahan has had, and the most depth we've had as well. It's just, there's going to be like I said, there's going to be a battle at strong safety, at corner. I think the linebackers are all set. Defensive line, I mean, there's going to be a lot of shuffling around there, of course, with the injuries to Eric Armstead. He's going to be out for multiple weeks due to a sprained MCL. And that's not good. That's definitely not good. He is the second best, I think, defensive lineman on this roster. And that sucks that he got hurt. Hopefully he can come back healthy and have a great season that he had last year. And then Kinlaw is a question mark. He's been unable to stay healthy. He's coming off of the torn ACL. He is practicing in training camp. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does when the pads are on as well. So there's definitely there'll definitely be a lot of battles. And this defensive line, we know John Lynch and Shanahan, that's what they value. And that's why we're going to have at least 10 or 11 defensive linemen up on game day. Make no mistake about it. And we'll see what happens. We picked up some free agents along the defensive line, especially the defensive tackle position. I won't be surprised if the 49ers pick up another defensive tackle due to the injuries to Hassan Ridgeway and Eric Armstead. So also Maurice Hurst, unfortunately out for the year with the torn bicep. So I think we're going to see another defensive tackle or a few more defensive tackles get worked out, in training camp. Let's see. David says Trey's going to look good until week 4 when he get hurt. By the way, does he know how to slide yet? Well, hey, injuries can happen to anyone, but I'm looking forward to seeing Trey Lance in this offense, putting up points, especially points against our NFC West division rivals. I can't wait for it. David says, can't keep secrets nowadays. Everyone be finding out. Are you probably talking about Kyler Murray's contract or something? Bay Area Sports Report. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in, man. How are you feeling tonight on a Sunday night? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Let's see. David says, that's why you released him when the season's over or trade at the deadline, and watching Trey Lance against Cardinals, man, couldn't slide, so he probably going to get hurt. Well, I'm going to say this. I think this year against the Arizona Cardinals is going to be a much different story. Our offense should be rocking and rolling by the time we play the Arizona Cardinals. I think the first game against the Arizona Cardinals is a Mexico City game. So I have no concerns. The Cardinals, hey, you guys are a very good team, very talented, but you guys just can't finish. And you definitely don't show up in playoff games. That's what we've seen so far. So, the Cardinals, hey, I still respect the Cardinals, but I'm not really worried about the Cardinals. Is it going to be a competitive game? Absolutely. But I think we do have some advantages over the Arizona Cardinals, and we will see when we play y'all this year twice. NYCE, what's good? NYCE says, what's good, Jay? Man, I'm excited. My favorite Niner is still a Niner, and I like the contract. I told y'all he was waiting for all those other wide receivers to sign, then get his. Let's go faithful. Absolutely, man. Yeah, and you mentioned the contract, a 3-year deal, and 71 million, 58 of that guaranteed. And I think it's quite clear now that the Jimmy G salary on the books did not affect Deebo Samuel getting signed long term. And that's a great thing to see. Jimmy G, he won't be on this roster much longer. I'm sure there'll be a trade for Jimmy sooner than later, so that way Jimmy G can get into camp with his new squad. And Deebo Samuel will be a 49er for at least the next 4 years. It'll be interesting to see how often Deebo Samuel is used as a running back. We know that was a point of contention this offseason. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but Deebo wanted to get paid. He got paid. It was the number that he and the Niners agreed to, so Deebo Samuel should be happy from here on out. And I don't think Kyle Shanahan wants to use him as a running back. I think that was used out of necessity last year. That was used out of emergency. Unfortunately, we've seen with Kyle Shanahan's running backs, everyone gets hurt. Elijah Mitchell, our most productive runner last year, only played in 11 games. Trey Sermon didn't really contribute. Jeff Wilson Jr. Didn't contribute. Deebo Samuel and Elijah Mitchell were the best running backs. Jermichael Hasty is basically a third down running back, a scat back. He can catch the ball out the backfield, but he's not really a 3 down running back. And that's why we drafted TDP. And speaking of battles, there's going to be a battle within the running backs, that's for sure. Obviously, you got Elijah Mitchell, you got TDP. And I think there's going to be a battle. I think Jermichael Hasty most likely will make this roster, or if he doesn't, he'll get on the practice squad. Sometimes I feel it doesn't really matter which running back makes the roster, because unfortunately guys get hurt. Running backs are getting hit on every play. Guys are going to get hurt. You got to stash a running back on the practice squad, whether that be Jeff Wilson Jr. or whether that be Jordan Mason. So, it really doesn't matter. I think whichever running back that's on the practice squad, eventually they'll get called up and hopefully they can contribute. But with the guys that we have on the roster now at the running back position, Deebo Samuel won't need to run the ball. And I think that's best for both parties. Now, in the playoffs, hey, maybe we can give Deebo Samuel a few carries. I'm all down for that. But I'm sure Deebo Samuel and Kyle Shanahan have had talks about that. So, but yeah, man, appreciate you tuning into the stream, man. Bay Area Sports Report, J Mouse says Deebo got paid. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. NYCE says, unfortunately, I won't be going to training camp because in Atlanta school starts tomorrow, so I will be back at work, but our football training camp starts Tuesday. All right, man. Hey, man, I'm sure you'll get out there when you can. Yeah, man, I know you're very, very excited, as the rest of the faithful are, that Deebo Samuel will be a 49er for years to come. We got 49ers first takes in the building. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream tonight. 49ers first takes, man. Another 49ers content creator doing his thing on his channel. We got to link up again real soon. He says, what's up, my man? Long time no see. Hope you're as happy as me with Deebo Samuel getting paid. Absolutely, man. And 49ers first takes, he can be pessimistic, and I feel like I'm optimistic. So it's very funny when we collab, because sometimes we can both be negative, but majority of the time he's real negative. I'm like positive Pete. So I think we mesh well together. But yeah, man, I think it's all sunshine, rainbows. I mean, it's all smiles today if you're a 49er fan. I don't see any other way. It's a 3-year deal. So Deebo will basically be a free agent when he's 29, 30 years old. He'll have a chance to sign another contract extension, especially if he's able to maintain his Pro Bowl level of productivity, which I think he can in this offense. And I think he can do it with just receiving the ball. Deebo Samuel was pretty much neck and neck with Cooper Kupp all year in regards to receiving yards, not receiving touchdowns, but receiving yards. and catches and things of that matter. So Deebo Samuel can still be a Pro Bowl player without running the ball. But what makes Deebo really, really dynamic is, when he's running the ball, because defenders don't want to tackle Deebo, man. Deebo is a big dude, and defenders do not want to tackle him. They're definitely making they're definitely making business decisions out there, man. That's for sure. We got Cook Sports in the house. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream, man. He says, "What's up, Jay? How are you doing tonight?" Cook Sports says, "Congratulations to that brother. I'm so excited for him." Absolutely, man, because Deebo Samuel deserved to get paid. I'm glad Deebo and the 49ers were able to agree on a contract extension. He's weapon X for this team. He is the best offensive player on this roster. He sets the tone for this team on offense, kind of like how Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Jimmy Ward set the tone on defense. Well, Deebo Samuel is that type of player on offense, and he's going to make Trey Lance's job so much easier. And I can't wait to see the quadruple threat of Kittle, of Deebo, the show, and Jawan Jennings. I can't wait to see that. And that's gonna propel this offense to be, I would say, top 5, top 7, one of the best offenses in the NFL. And I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. We got Roberto in the building. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in tonight on the stream, Roberto. I hope all is well on a Sunday night for you. NYC says, "Hey, David, the Niners know how to keep info contained. It's proven." Exactly. We don't have those leaks anymore. I know we used to, and I think that was prior to the Kyle Shanahan era. There was definitely some leaks when Harbaugh was here, and Tom Sula and Chip Kelly, but I think that's a moot point now. We're definitely past that, so that's for sure. 49ers First Take says, "We definitely mesh well, even with the negative behind." I think it's good, man. I think it's good to have a show where you have different viewpoints. I think that's good. If I did a show with someone and we agreed on everything, wouldn't that be kind of boring for the viewers and everyone? I think it's good to clash and have different viewing points and different opinions, man. I think that makes a great show. So it's always good to collab with First Takes and Niners Sickness and Kelts Chronicles and Lawrence. The list of names go on. Shifty. If I'm forgetting anyone, let me know. But man, it's always good to collab with other 49er content creators, and including the NFC West content creators, as well. So always good to collab with those guys. And man, I mean, it's so crazy that we can now put this behind us, right? Because that was definitely a huge deal this offseason with Deebo Samuel scrubbing the social media, with fans saying, "Hey, we don't want you on the team." And it was a very tumultuous few months with Deebo Samuel and the 49ers. But now it's like it's like a breath of fresh air, man. It's like a breath of fresh air. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Deebo Samuel will be with the 49ers for years to come, at least 4 years, especially if he's able to continue to play at a Pro Bowl level. And all you can really worry about now, and you can't really worry about it because it's out of everyone's control, and some would say even the players' control, is health. Deebo Samuel's at least able to play 15 games each season, and I think he can do that, especially if he's not running the ball up the middle against the defense. So he can definitely do that. So the sky is the limit for this offense, for this team. And like I said before, man, he just sets the tone for this entire offense. I did want to talk about a few things, and feel free to let me know your comments on these topics. And also, if you still want to talk about Deebo, we can definitely do that. But I did want to talk about some things I noticed from week 1 of training camp. And let me know in the comment section, is anyone going to the training camp this week? And on Monday, tomorrow, the pads will come on. this is the first day that players will have on pads. I think we will see a much better showing of the offensive line, and that's definitely something I wanted to talk about. And we will definitely get that in now. And let me know if anyone's going to the week 1 training camp, or I should say the week 2 training camp. And also let me know if you're going to the Dwight Clark Day that's happening at Levi Stadium August 7th, or if you're going to any preseason games. Let me know in them comments. So a few things I noticed from week 1 training camp. Trey Lance struggles. I don't know the exact tracker of completions and incompletions. I try not to put too much stock into that because this is week 1 of training camp. The offensive line does not have pads on. No one has pads on. It's very difficult for an offensive lineman to block a defensive lineman without pads, especially when you're blocking guys like Samson. You're blocking guys like Nick Bosa. Our Eric Armstead when he was on the field. Javon Kinlaw. It's very difficult to block those type of guys. And what I noticed, I was at camp. For those who follow me on social media, IG or Twitter, I put out a few videos on camp. And what I noticed was when Nick Bosa was in, Trey Lance did not have time to throw the ball. And obviously there's no pads. So when Nick Bosa gets to Trey Lance, he just lets him go. He's not going to try to tackle him, or I don't even think they put their arms up. But Nick Bosa was, making it look very easy, which he does very often because that's the type of player that Nick Bosa is. He was making Justin School look silly, but he should do that. But I say that to say that Trey Lance, he's going to make some throws that he wouldn't make in a game. He's going to make some throws to test this defense. And also he's going to air it out. We've seen it. Trey Lance has no problem with throwing the ball deep. And that was what we had issues with Jimmy G. Jimmy G wouldn't really stretch the field. And I like that Trey Lance is stretching the field. Trey Lance did have an interception that kind of was a Jimmy G-esque interception when he threw to Fred Warner, but I don't think Trey Lance saw Fred Warner. But, Trey Lance will have some ups and downs, especially during the regular season. He's going to throw interceptions, and I think that's just par for the course. He's a young quarterback. He's not going to, throw 0 interceptions the entire regular season. That's just not going to happen. So it's good that he gets those interceptions out now, and he can continue to get better at his craft. But I think Trey definitely struggled somewhat because of the offensive line's inability to really block, but can't really block someone that effective without pads. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow, 11 on 11s with pads on, and Trent Williams. And also, Trent Williams was not at training camp for, I think Trent Williams' first day was Friday. It was either Friday or Saturday. So Trent Williams was not there for the first few days of training camp because, and congratulations to Trent Williams for the birth of his child. So that's why he missed the first few days of training camp. So congratulations to Trent Williams. But I would say don't panic, Faithful. Struggles will happen for Trey Lance and this offensive line. And also there's a lot of shuffling. You got, guys that don't have a lot of experience on this offensive line right now, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, and Spencer Burford. So, you got to judge accordingly. And I just say don't panic, and let's just continue to get better as training camp goes on. Awesomeness Sports, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream tonight. Hope all is well. We got Clown Man in the building. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in tonight. He says 58 in the pocket. Sup, fam? Sup? How are you doing tonight, man? Hopefully all is well. We got Jag in the building. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in. He says, what's good, Jay? What is your impression of Spencer Burford at right guard? He definitely looks like an NFL player. We'll see what he amounts to at that right guard spot if he's able to win it. It's hard to really judge offensive linemen without pads on. I'm very intrigued to see the one-on-ones between an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman with pads on. But there's no, make no mistake about it, though. There's a reason why Spencer Burford was drafted by the 49ers. I think he will be in contention for that starting right guard spot. And I'm looking forward to see him in pads. We got Sports and Stars with Jade. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in tonight, Jade. How is your Sunday night going? Jade says, hey, Jay, Trey is the go-to. Deebo getting that money. Exciting 49er times. Hey, I can't say it any better than that. You're absolutely right. This is a wonderful, wonderful night. Got the notification, an hour or two ago, and I've just been elated ever since, Jade. It's like I said before, it's like Christmas morning in July. So, man, it's a wonderful time. Wonderful time to be a 49er fan. Absolutely. I also wanted to talk about this 49er defense. I mean, it's looking really good with Fred Warner being a vocal leader out there on the field. Charvarius Ward is as advertised. Him and Mosley. Mosley's looking really good. I know Emmanuel Mosley is in the last year of his contract, and if he balls out, if he plays at a Pro Bowl level, hopefully we can re-sign Mosley. I would be surprised because we've already signed Charvarius Ward, and usually it's pretty rare that a team signs two corners to big time contracts. I mean, can you guys think of when the 49ers had two starting corners, that made double-digit per year salary? I don't remember the last time that happened. So I'd be surprised if that happened again, especially since this 49ers team really values the defensive line. We know Nick Bosa will be up for a contract. I think I think next year is his fifth year contract option, I believe, which he already signed. I know the 49ers and Nick Bosa are talking now, but I'd be surprised if his deal got done before next year for Nick Bosa. I mean, if he has another all-pro type season, I mean, his number will elevate to another level. So, we'll see what happens. But that's what I want to talk about, this 49ers defense. They're playing really well. D'Amico Ryans in his second year as defensive coordinator. This might be his last year because I anticipate this 49ers defense will be really well. You got to hope that we'll add some more interior depth along the defensive line, and hopefully Eric Armstead could come back and play how he did last year, at a almost Pro Bowl level. That's what you got to hope for. But this 49ers defense in training camp is just playing lights out, and it's making Trey Lance's job and the offensive job very, very, very difficult. But I can't wait till pads tomorrow, 11 on 11. I can't wait. We got Job in the building. What's good? Job says, what's up, Jay in the Bay? How are you doing? Sorry I haven't been on. I've been busy working, but glad football's almost back. It's all good, man. I know we all got our own lives, man. I don't expect everyone to be on whenever I go live, man. Everyone's doing their own thing. You got family, you got work, man. Just, take care of your business. But it's good to see you, Job. And yes, football is almost back. I think the 49ers first the 49ers first preseason game is August 12th. So we've got 13 days until then, and we got some preseason football. I can't wait for it. Jade says, doing well, Jay. Hope you're having a great Leo season and doing great. Absolutely, I am. And hope you are doing well as well. Jade, appreciate that comment. Also, of course, during training camp, the 49ers did suffer some injuries. Eric Armstead is going to be out multiple weeks with the MCL sprain. Very unfortunate. He had arguably his best season as a 49er last year. Hopefully he can come back and play at a Pro Bowl level. Mo Hurst, unfortunately, is going to be out for the rest of the season with the torn biceps. And Hassan Ridgeway is going to be out multiple weeks. I think he has a knee sprain, I believe, Hassan Ridgeway. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but he has some type of sprain. Hold on one second. I think I took let's see. I think he had some type of sprain. And unfortunately, Hassan Ridgeway is going to be out multiple weeks. Let's say, yeah. So Hassan Ridgeway has a mild quad strain and will miss a couple of weeks. And this was according to Kyle Shanahan. So you got 3 interior defensive linemen who basically are going to be out two out of 3 will be out multiple weeks, and 1 will be out for the entire year. So I know we added some depth along that defensive line, but I think we need to continue to add depth, maybe And then Ndamukong Suh, I don't know what he would cost, but I think he's still a free agent. Maybe the Niners should at least inquire, bringing Ndamukong Suh in for a workout. I don't see why not. I think it just depends on his number. But and then, of course, Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw's coming back from a torn ACL. I'm sure they want to take it easy with him, but I think he needs some help beside him. Absolutely. Also, the 49ers, they had, I believe it was Daniel Brunskill taking first team reps at center. So it'd be interesting to see if he is the number one center when it comes to week 1 versus the Chicago Bears. I know a lot of people were interested in JC Tretter. And there's no doubt JC Tretter is an Iron Man. I don't think he's missed a game in the last 5 years when he was playing with the Cleveland Browns, but he's banged up. He never practiced, at least not last year with the Browns. He didn't practice, but he played in every game. But he's not taking a Jake Tretter is not taking a veteran minimum deal to come play with the 49ers. That's for sure. JC Tretter has been making pretty good money for a center. And I'm sure he still believes in his value, and he's not going to take a veteran minimum deal to come play with the 49ers. I wonder if they could agree to a number, but the Niners the Niners do have, Donovan West as a UDFA. You got Jake Brendel, you got Daniel Brunskill, and it seems like the 49ers are content with that center position. But we'll see how it works out, in training camp when the Pats come on. Let's see. Jack says, Jay and the Bay, who's the leader to take the Sharks spot inside? It seems like Darqueze Dennard. He's getting the first team reps in training camp. It seems like, he is the odds-on favorite to get that nickel spot. But, there is competition. Can, Jason Verrett get that nickel spot? Can he come off of PUP? I would rather him come back when he's completely healthy. We don't need to rely on Jason Verrett like we used to last year. We have a lot more depth in that cornerback spot at the nickel. You also have Demo Lenoir, you have Ambry Thomas, Dante Johnson, but I think he's probably better at safety. But I think there's no doubt Darqueze Dennard is the favorite. But we'll see what happens when Pats come on, and then we'll see what happens, I'm sure, in preseason. But yeah, there's a reason why the 49ers brought back Darqueze Dennard. And also, don't forget about Sammy Womack. Can't forget about Womack. We'll see what happens, though. Jag says, do you agree that running back has a shot at making the running back group? I think you're referring to UDFA Jordan Mason. Yeah, I mean, I think he has a shot to make the 53-man active roster. I think a lock is Elijah Mitchell, TDP, Jermichael Hasty. I mean, I don't think the Niners would cut Trey Sermon. I mean, he was a 3rd-round pick, and we know that Kyle Shanahan does not like to admit when he's wrong. And we know that by him keeping, Jalen Hurd for way too long. And I just don't think they're going to give up on Trey Sermon. He's looked solid in camp, but we'll see what happens when the guys can really tackle each other and they can really wrap up. But, like I said before, I don't think it really matters who makes the running back room, because the 49ers, they're always going to have at least one running back on the practice squad, because we've seen it. The running backs get hurt. They're getting hit on every play. And you're going to have a backup running back on the practice squad so he can be pulled up when he's ready, because every running back on this depth chart got hurt last year. So, I think Jordan Mason does have a shot, but then I think it's pretty much between, I would say, Jordan Mason, Jeff Wilson Jr., and probably Trey Sermon for the last 2 spots, I would assume. And I'm assuming that Elijah Mitchell, TDP, and Jermichael Hasty have the top 3. Because Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't really show much, but he's on a 1-year deal. Trey Sermon was a 3rd-round pick. And I believe in meritocracy, but the guy was a 3rd-round pick. You got to give him a shot. You got to give him a shot, and Jordan Mason is a UDFA. So you can stash him probably on the practice squad. If it were up to me, I would probably rather have Jordan Mason over Jeff Wilson Jr., but that's just me. Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't really show much last year, so I would love to see Jordan Mason. But make no mistake about it, Jack. Jordan Mason, we're going to see a lot of him in the preseason. I think he's going to get anywhere 15, 20 carries because I don't think you want to really put Elijah Mitchell out there too much. You don't want to. I think TDP and probably Jordan Mason will probably get the bulk of the carries because I don't think you really want to put Elijah Mitchell out there. You already know what he can really do. Jag says, looks like we have depth at the cornerback compared. Absolutely. I mean, this is the most depth that we've had at the cornerback position in Kyle Shanahan's tenure with the team. Make no mistake about it. Hopefully we won't have any Josh Norman sightings this year. And I think we've drafted well. We drafted cornerbacks in last year's draft. We drafted cornerbacks in this year's draft. So that way we don't have to make those types of decisions. And also picking up Charvarius Ward, and I think he's going to pay off really well for the cornerback room. That's for sure. Huge shout out, huge thank you for everyone who came in tonight. If you're watching on intheBay Facebook, intheBay Twitter, and of course, if you're watching on intheBay YouTube, huge shout out to you guys for tuning in tonight on this stream. I was going to stream tonight and just talk about the week 1 training camp, but once I saw the Deebo Samuel news, man, it's obviously had to talk about that. This is a game changer for the 49ers to have their best offensive weapon back in the fold for years to come. And as Jag said, today is a great day for the faithful with the Deebo signing. Absolutely. Huge shout out to everyone who came in tonight. I appreciate a lively chat. Also, shout out to Blue True for the super chat. Appreciate that greatly. And appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. I will be at training camp tomorrow. So, hey, follow me on, Twitter, IG. I might post some videos up there. Also follow me on Facebook. Hey, I might post some videos up on there. And it'd be great to see Deebo tomorrow in pads. And I'm looking forward to one-on-ones between the offensive line and defensive line. And, the cornerbacks and wide receivers going one-on-one as well. So, and also, of course, 11-on-11s in pads. I mean, it's really nothing better than that. So, looking forward to training camp tomorrow, first day in pads. Huge shout out again to everyone who came in through the chat and contributed to the stream. Very, very appreciated. We got Rhino Alcantar. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream. He says, good seeing you. It's almost been a year, man. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when I go live or I post a video and what you can expect from the intheBay YouTube channel this year. Definitely pregame, postgame live streams of all the regular season games. You can expect live streams like this. Usually I'll live stream at least once a week, either Monday, Thursday, or Sunday. One of those 3 days, definitely get a live stream. And then also latest 49ers news videos. And that's what you can expect from the intheBay YouTube channel. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. And I can't wait to see Deebo taking chains all year long. Let's get it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.